今の俺は窮地なのか？
ああ。
この場にいる4人じゃ、俺は止められない。
Is that cool or what? Hi everyone, my name is Mimi and welcome to my channel. And today I'm going to be reacting to Classroom of the Elite Season 2 Episode 12, Force Without Wisdom Falls of Its Own Weight. Last episode, Ryuen was torturing Karuizawa. And yeah, so before we get into this episode, if you guys like my reaction, please give it a thumbs up, please subscribe, and please consider supporting me on Patreon at patreon.com/heroine. And now let's start this episode, and here we go. I put this episode at the very end of all my reactions for the day because I know I'm gonna be upset. So uh, once I'm upset, I just want to end like everything. So yeah, let's get into this episode, and here we go. Okay guys, in case the reaction gets blocked and I had to cut out the reaction itself, you can just look in the pinned comment in the comment section where for the link to the reaction highlight itself, so you can just click on it, watch it, and then you just come back for my review.
いい加減楽になれよ、軽井沢。気配はない。お前は黒幕に見捨てられたんだよ。
Maybe she has been holding on because she's thinking that Ayanokoji is gonna come for her. And if Ryuen is able to dissuade her of that thinking, then she's gonna spill the beans. Maybe.
なあ、軽井沢。戦場試験の時、花部たちが現れたと思う。黒幕が仕組んだからだ。お前は最初から利用されるために陥れられてたのさ。お前を切り捨てた。助けは来ない。
そんなのってないよ。
Well, that is the truth.
助かる方法はたった一つだ。わかるな。
名前。
そうだ。
楽になる？ああ、また私はあの時に逆戻りしちゃうのかな。苦しめられ続けるとしても絶対に言わないから。
Aww.
お前を利用した黒幕をなぜかばう。
私にだって最後までカッコつけたいことはある。後悔するかもしれないけどこれでいい。
最後まで残念だぜ、軽井沢。お前はここで壊す。
これでいいが助かるなら悪くない。ちょっと私
Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
タカと組んでいろいろやってる時はちょっと楽しかった。だから悔いはないんだ。本当は心のどこかであいつが助けに来てくれるんじゃないかって。
どうせカラオケやるなら罰ゲームありの点数対決だよね。
Yotaka, you better save her, okay?
どうしたの清高くん。
悪いな。やっぱり今日は帰る。なんかあったのか？冬休みにでも誘ってくれ。
あ、うん。
So he's actually going there?
私に話とは何だ？綾小路。
今までは今日を境に D クラスは二度と上に上がれなくなりますよ。
なんだと？
龍園に壊された軽井沢は退学を選択するでしょう。
お前の魂胆は読めたぞ。私を動かして軽井沢を。
But she's gonna be like, I'm not gonna do that.
この学校では教師は生徒同士の問題には安易に介入しない。
生に何かしてほしいと言ってるわけじゃない。
何？
見届けませんか？この一件の結末を。お待たせしました。
堀北学。どういうことだ？
が依頼されたのはあくまで事後処理です。
それと先に手を出したのが C クラスだと。
Okay.
いいだろう、綾小路。 だが例の約束は忘れるな。
Which is?
あなたの妹を生徒会に入れることへの助力ですね。
一体どうやってこの件の始末をつける気だ。
彼は一人で戦争を終わらせるつもりなんですよ。
龍炎たちを単独で抑え込む策があるとでも言うのか。
Don't panic. I'm the one you are seeking for.
He spoke English.
お前はここで壊す。
さようなら偽りだ。
No, he's here for you.
なんであいつが。
の工事。
遅くなって悪かったな、軽井沢。
どうして。
約束しただろう。
Aw.
お前に何かあれば必ず助けると。俺がお前たちの探し求めてた人間だ。
バカバカしい。本人の私を疑いもせず。
無人島の試験でお前のデジカメは故障していた。
なんでそれを。
壊したのは俺だ。
さっきまでの恐怖が消えたな。だが綾小路、もしお前が黒幕だとしてだ、俺には悪手に見えるぜ。一人で敵中に飛び込んでどう乗り切るつもりだ。見せてみろよ。どんな策を用意してきた。
策？俺はただ軽井沢を迎えに来ただけだ。
赤をくくってんじゃねえのか。こっちが無茶をしないと。どれだけ小細工しようとも暴力の前には屈するしかない。
We know Ayanokoji can defend himself, but we saw that when he faced Manabu. Is he gonna fight here?
お前をここで叩き潰す。それで D クラスは終わりだ。
どうやら交渉の余地はなさそうだな。
Or is he gonna take them all down?
今の俺は窮地なのか？
ああ、
この場にいる4人じゃ俺は止められない。
Is that cool or what? Beat that dude up. Oh my god, this is. I know, right? Give him. Break his legs. Oh my gosh. Break his legs.
来るなら叫ぶなよ。
Now beat Ryuen up. He's the one that I want beating the most. Beat him up.
まだ気づかないか。暴力で決着をつけるこの状況は俺が作り出したものだ。
ああ、
体を隠すつもりなら最初から真鍋を利用したりしない。
俺の手のひらであえて泳いでみせたと。
そう見せかけてこっちが泳がせてたんだよ。
なんなのよ。あんたも綾小路もムカつけ。
Go to sleep.
おみそれしたぜ、綾小路。
まだ冷静でいるのはさすがだな、龍炎。
たまらねえよ、綾小路。俺にとっちゃ全てがゲームだ。もっと楽しませてくれよ、綾小路。それだけの実力があってなんで表に出て戦わない。
こっちにもいろいろある。
釣り出してやる。負けねえと思ってんのかよ。この場ではお前が勝つかもな。だが明日は四六時中どこからでも狙ってやる。
No, you won't. You'll be expelled.
負けることが怖くないのか。
恐怖なんて俺にはないのさ。一度も感じたことがない。この世界は暴力によって支配されている。この世の実力は暴力の強さで決まる。痛みを知ればそれが恐怖へと変わる。
ならその痛みってやつを教えてもらおうか。
分かってき
No, he doesn't. See his face?
恐怖ってやつが本当に呼
Oh
び起
my
こされるのか
gosh.
試してるんだが。
Oh my gosh.
そうかよ。
Get away from Karuizawa.
普通じゃねえな。雑魚を見下して生きるのは気持ちよかったが。
そんなことは考えたこともない。
Ooh. Oh my gosh, this is so satisfying.
お前は恐怖を感じたことがないと言っていた
He's
な。
gonna make him feel fear. He's gonna feel it for the very first time.
そうさ。今ここでお前が勝っても俺は何度でも食らいつく。最後に勝つのは俺だ。今だけんだぜ。綾野コーディ。さあお前の感情を見せてみろ。
Nothing. 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 You see his eyes? Blank.
お前はさっきから何を言ってるんだ。
Oh my god. Oh my goodness.
感情が覗くはずもない。
Are you a friend?
ああ、それだ龍炎。
He's not dead, right?
自分の中にも恐怖が存在することが。
He got beaten up so bad. I love it.
ずいぶん辛い状況で待たせてしまったな。俺に幻滅したか。
Nope.
当たり前でしょ。
Okay.
最初から騙してたんだから。
But
そうだな。
ただそれだけ。
いい。確かなことは今日この瞬間お前を縛る呪縛はなくなったってこと。
that is so true because he was willing to.
一つ覚えておいてくれ。今日のようにお前に何かあれば俺は必ずお前を助けに来る。これでいい。
You know what I was thinking? When he said that, and she was crying in his arms. I was thinking, okay, I ship these two. But then when he said this will do, I'm like, wait. You gotta remember, this guy is an emotionless person. So even if you were to ship them, it's like, nah, nothing's happening. Mm-mm. You know what? Before I say what I need to say, I need to look up this comment. Okay. Finally found it. It used a comment by Nami-ET1DD. And I'm assuming it's a girl. She said the real heroine is here. And that one of the main things that I hate about the anime is that they gave everything to Horikita. Something they gave to Horikita. Even that whole scene that was supposed to be Kei, but they made Horikita do it. Either way, the first phrase, the real heroine is here. That's when I was watching this episode, that's what I thought about as I was watching it. Karuizawa. in this episode. Like I said, I don't. This person said that Karuizawa Kei is a more prominent character in the Ellen. I'm assuming Ellen is a light novel. That she's more prominent in the novel, right? And then that she's the real heroine in that particular episode that this person commented on. And as I was watching this episode, seeing her resilience, her willingness to suffer the consequences, but still being resolved not to say that Kiyotaka was the mastermind. That comment just like it brought that comment to my mind, because a less strong person would not endure what she's enduring and not say anything, especially when you know that the pain you're going through can be just stopped like that if you just tell this person what they want to know. And especially with knowing that the pain that was caused upon her, the pain that she went through was orchestrated by Ayanokoji himself in order to use her as a pawn. Even with knowing that, like, another person will be like, wait, this guy did this to me, why would I be keeping his secret? I'm just gonna say it. But she didn't, she held on to her secret, and she's like, I'll accept the consequences of everything. That's basically saying, because the consequence is that Ryuen was going to tell the whole school that she's been bullied, and then she's going to be forced sort of like to leave the school and go to another school where nobody knows about her bully status, I guess. I don't know. But the fact that she's willing to accept that, to let everyone know. And you know what? Even though while her original thinking might be after the Ryuen reveals this to the school, even though her original thinking would be that she would leave the school, something tells me that even with the school knowing, she's not gonna leave. If it were to happen, like Ryuen wanted to do, she wouldn't leave because she's found a strength in herself. Being willing to support all of this for herself, to be the hero of her own story, basically. Everyone wants to have a heroic moment. She said something like that in this episode. So she's basically being her own hero in that particular moment. Even if the truth was to be revealed, I don't think she would leave the school. I don't think she would just let people bully her. Because I feel like this was, like Ayanokoji was saying this episode, at the end there, telling her that she basically broke off the chains that bound her. I feel like that's true. This whole thing, even though I hate it, I feel like it's been therapeutic for her. She's not gonna let herself be bullied anymore, And even if she was bullied, the way it used to affect her, I don't think it's gonna affect her like that anymore. So, yes, Ayanokoji, I remember like during that episode where he orchestrated the whole thing, I'm like, for real? Like, the way I looked at Ayanokoji that episode, I'm like, no. But I guess the good thing that came out of it is that she broke the chains that bound her and she's now free. So with that as a result, I'm gonna be like, okay, I guess. But yo. Okay, last episode. toward the end of the episode, the Ayanokoji's group was inviting him to go to karaoke, right? And he's like, okay, let's go. I'm like, wait, so he's not gonna go and help her, you know? And he actually first he went to Manabu, brought him to that location where the bullying was happening, and then he went to the teacher, told him what was happening, and he just like, I didn't ask you to do anything, I'm just telling you what's happening and all of that. Because I was assuming that with him going to the teacher and the teacher wanting everyone to go to class A, she's gonna be posing as a condition for her help that Ayanokoji would be helping the class go to class A, like he was, like she threatened him the first go around. I was thinking she was gonna ask sort of like the same thing, but Ayanokoji didn't even give her that opportunity. He's just like, okay, I told you what's happening, so I'm leaving. You do what you want to do. She goes there with Ayanokoji, and then Manabu is there, and he's like, he's not there to interfere. He's just there to see the outcome and to tell the school that Class C is the one that started the whole thing, you know. And then Ayanokoji just walks away from them and goes in. And he spoke English. Of course, he spoke English. I feel like this guy has, I wonder how many languages. Now that I'm thinking about it, with the way they start each episode with a quote from a book or something, and all these quotes are in different languages, I'm assuming, knowing he just spoke English in this particular episode, that all those languages that we've been seeing so far, German, I think there was some Italian in there, probably some Latin, so, and French. So I'm assuming he speaks all those languages. He knows how to fight. No wonder his father wants him back. You speak all those languages. Well, so far English that I know of, but I'm pretty sure he speaks all those languages. You are super smart. You know how to fight and fight pretty much easily. Like you see this episode, the way he was just like, the way he was moving around, there was no wasted movement in his attacks. Like his punches landed hard. It landed super hard. Bruh, the no. And he goes there, right? He goes there. What was the dude's name? I forgot his name. That only speaks English. Ryuen's right hand, his muscle, whatever, that was at the door. He speaks English to him, and he's like, okay, I'm the one you're looking for. He lets him in, and Ayanokiji goes there, and Ibuki's like, what are you doing here? You're not the mastermind. You're just whatever. You didn't even know that I was the one that was doing things or whatever. And he's like, I'm the one that broke your camera. Okay, so I know. And when Karuizawa saw him, oh, her reaction, like, he's here for me. And then as Ayanokoji was saying, okay, I'm the mastermind, Ryuen like looks at Karuizawa's face, and he sees the fear in her gone. So he knew at that moment that Ayanokoji was the mastermind. If he wasn't, her fear would have still been there, you know. So he's now like, okay, so what's your plan? Doing, telling Ayanokoji, asking Ayanokoji what his plan is. He's like, I have no plan, you know. And he just goes, oh, you just walked into the lion's den with no plan. You're not walking out of here. Violence is the greatest force in the world. I'm gonna beat you so bad. I'm gonna unleash violence on you so bad that you're not gonna be able to stand up against me anymore, and all of that. And then, look at you, man. He's just like, there's only 4 of you here. I'm like, there's only 4 of you. You're not gonna be able to do anything against me, you know. And he so very adeptly was able to dispatch of all three of them. Ibuki, she's just like, and then he's out. Oh, so good. And then now the face off between Ayanokoji and Ryuen. Oh my goodness. They were fighting each other. Clearly, Ryuen was doing the most, more than Ayanokoji. Ayanokoji's face was still blank. Ryuen is like, I don't feel fear. I love it when I see someone like I guess when he's beating someone, see the fear in their eyes or something that he loves seeing or whatever. And Anokuji like took advantage, was like on top of him, beating him up, and he just there. Oh, you can keep beating me. I just want to see the emotions on your face. Sure, you're winning right now, but in the future, you know, once you let your guard down, I'm gonna bounce on you. Enjoy your victory from now on. Let me see your emotions. I'm like, him realizing that even in that position, okay, even with him being lost, or even with him losing Ryuen, even with Ryuen losing, Ayanokoji on top of him, landing punches after punches, basically being in the winning position. And he's thinking that this, I don't know, he's expecting Ayanokoji to have this like winning smile or something on his face. And it's like this guy is completely blank. I think that's what brought the fear back in his face. He said he's never felt fear. And he felt fear for that particular moment. And I loved it. I loved it so much. Because he's been terrorizing the students in class C. He's been terrorizing students in the school. And for him to finally feel fear that he's been like dishing upon everyone, well, apart from Ayanokoji, of course, the fear that he's been dishing upon people, to finally see that on his face, and then that final punch that took him out, it was so like beautiful. Like the sound effect on that one was so like so clean and crisp, and like I loved it. Y'all know how much I've been like hating this character, and to see him like Ayanokoji beat the crap out of him, and I loved it. I loved it so much. Now, before Ayanokoji went into the warehouse or whatever, where they were, before the final fight, before he went in there, Manabu was telling on, or was it Manabu who was speaking? I don't know, someone. I don't know if it was Ayanokoji or if it was Manabu that was telling the teacher that Ayanokoji intended to basically take out Ryuen's group, wipe them more from the board, I guess, so that in the future they won't be consequential. I guess that's how I understood it. Like what he was doing this particular episode was gonna take Ryuen out of the running. He's been doing all of this in order to get to class A. Is it to get to class A or just for a game? Because it's like, this has all been a game to me. So I don't know if he's actually wanting to go to class A or if it was just, whatever. But the way this person spoke, like I said, I don't know if he was Manabu or if he was Ryuen, Ayanokoji. The way that person spoke, it made it seem like with what happened this episode, this was going to be the end of Ryuen and his group, and he's wanting to go to class A or whatever his goals are. So with Manabu being there and knowing that class C is the one that started this whole thing, I'm guessing that at the end of this, Ryuen is going to be expelled from the school, and that's going to be the end of his whole faction and whatever. That's what I'm thinking is going to happen. and it would be so glorious if that was the case. Because I'm like, bye bye. I don't like that character, so him being gone will be awesome. So I'm hoping that's what it is. But before he even went in there, I guess, they revealed to us that the reason why Manabu was there is because Ayanokoji promised him that he was gonna help um, Suzune get into the student council. Why? Is that why Manabu resigned from the student council? And also, in order to become part of the student council, do you need to reach Class A first? Because clearly the current president of the student council is from Class A. Do you need to be a member of Class A before you get to become a member of the student council? Now that I think about it, I don't think so. Because Manabu wanted Ayanokoji to join the student council, and he said no. And at that particular moment where where Ayanokoji was, he still is. They're all still in Class A, not Class A. Oh my goodness, Class D. So I'm guessing in order to become a member of the student council president, you don't need to be Class A. So I guess Ayanokoji can still be in the darkness and doing all this. But then again, I don't know. Does he really want to be in the background? Because I feel like somewhere in this episode, he was telling Ryuen that if he actually wanted to be in the background, he wouldn't have done something or other. I don't quite remember exactly how he said it. If I see that moment, I'm gonna put it in here somewhere so that you guys can see what I'm talking about. He said something along those lines that I'm like, so you're not actually trying to be in the background? And then he also said that he's the one that's been like instigating things in such a way that it ended in violence. What time? At what time? Like, does it mean that each time there's some kind of violence that's being perpetrated by Ryuen, it's him that sort of like pushed him toward doing that? Huh? I don't know. I guess I need a little bit of explanation when it comes to that, because I'm really not getting that part of it. But basically, even though Ryuen thought that he was the mastermind in his own affairs, he was actually being led by Ayanokoji. This boy. Aww. I love this episode. I loved it. I'm assuming. Oh no, let's not assume. I was gonna say I'm assuming this is the final episode of this season. I mean, this is episode 12. Let me see. Yeah, I was gonna see where the last season, season 1, on what episode did it end, and it was on episode 12, and this is episode 12 of this season. And I feel like when I looked at Crunchyroll, yeah, it doesn't say any next episode. It doesn't say episode 13. Let me see if there's a season 3 already here or not. Okay, so there's a season 3. What the heck? Okay, so there's 13 episodes in this season. Okay, so this is not the final episode. Next episode is going to be the final episode of the season. So thank you guys for watching, and if you like this reaction, please give it a thumbs up, please subscribe, and if you want to see my reaction to episode 13, the link is going to be in the pinned comment, so you can just click on it and you can watch it right now. And you can also catch up with all my previous Classroom of the Elite reactions. There's a playlist in the comment as well. So thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye. They are both at war, but can't be known. No more to the wall. It got an uniform.